guys, how's it going? Statman coming back at you today, and today I'm going to be talking about some Blu-rays that I got from Disney. One of them is the title that I told you about previously that I paid the full price for in order to get the other deals from Disney Movie Club, to get the Honey, I Shrunk the Kid and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and those movies, Cool Runnings. I got those in another pickup video that you can go and watch right now if you want to. But what allowed me to get those for a halfway decent deal was the fact that I pre-ordered a film that was coming out from Disney very soon, and I paid full price for the pre-order. Wouldn't have normally done that, but I didn't want to pay an arm and a leg for the Disney Movie Award, or Disney Movie Club, I'm sorry, exclusives that I got. The Honey, I Shrunk the Kid, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Those exclusives cost $25 each, usually. So I had the opportunity to get them for a halfway decent deal, but first I had to buy one title at full price. So that's what I did. And that one title was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Of course you knew. You had to know. Don't even act. You had to know that this one was coming out, and that I was probably going to get this as my pre-order that allowed me to get the others, right? Somebody guessed this, right? Somebody. I saw this in theaters when it came out earlier this year. Loved it. Fantastic movie. I didn't feel like it was as good as the first movie, but it was still a very good movie. It was up there with that one. And I watched it right after I got it here on Blu-ray. Gotta say, it holds up very well. The problems that I had with it in the theater, like when I learned to stop being so critical about it, this is definitely a movie you can't be too critical of, I feel like. It's important to use critical analysis when watching films, if you're someone like me and a film buff and everything. But at a certain point you start to realize that a movie like this is calling back to more goofy films, to more cheesy films, cheesy sci-fi and the like. And when a movie is doing that, when a film is trying to evoke feelings and evoke nostalgia for a cheesy kind of movie that was always cheesy from the past, the B movies of the 50s and whatnot, when they're trying to do that, you kind of have to take some of the things they do with a glass of water. Yes, back in the day, they had these little tricks, right, where they would cut away from the action, but you'd still hear it in the background, you know what I mean? And that's how you do. There was still action going on in the background, right? And if they did a good enough job of what they were doing, you didn't really care that you weren't seeing all the action, right? And that's one of the ways that they saved a lot of money on making those films, is just by not having to shoot all the action that you would have had to see otherwise. And you see that in a lot of the sci-fi B movies of the 50s and 60s and whatnot, because they didn't have high budgets. They had to work with what they had, and when they didn't have a high enough budget to shoot the big action scene, well, they were going to shoot something else and then maybe do like the audio from the action scene in the background, or maybe they'd cut away to like a news person talking about the action that's going on, and you'd hear like some canned gunfire or something, you know what I mean? Just stupid silly things like that you'd look at and say, wait, why am I not seeing the action? This is cheesy as hell. And the reason you're not seeing is they didn't have it in the budget. But it's a nifty little trick. Sometimes it worked better than other times. But what's funny is that in a movie like this, they have a high budget, like $250 million or something like that, right? So they don't have to cut away from the action. But they did it anyways. And when I watched that in the theater, I thought, really? You've got this huge freaking budget and you're not going to use it to show me the action in the background? What the hell, man? But when I watched the second time, it made me fully appreciate that's what they're doing. They're calling back to those films and those cheap little tricks that people would use, those filmmakers would use, to get away with not showing you all the action. And they did it in a way that was very funny as well. It was humorous. Like, you know, on the nose, almost breaking the fourth wall a bit, I would say. But, you know, now that I see that for what it is, with critical analysis, I can understand, okay, they're trying to call back to those kinds of movies. They sure they have the budget to do something bigger and better, but that's not the point. The point is they're having fun, and they're making a funny, silly little movie that is at times cheesy, but it's calling back to the cheese of the past. So it's not all necessarily bad to have that kind of cheese in there. I'll take it. Now that I can kind of understand what they were doing there, I'll take it, and I'm glad that I got this. Very cool movie. Looks very good in high definition. Yes, they have it on 4K. No, I didn't get the 4K, but you know, it's still in that era where I'm not able to afford all the 4K. I guess I could have gotten the 4K on this one, but then that would have cost even more. So, no, I didn't get the 4K. And at least it came with the slipcover, so that's very nice. Embossed, shiny slipcover, shiny. But when I got the other stuff from Disney Movie Club, the ones that I've been talking about, the Honey, I Shrunk the Kid and stuff, you know, when I got those, it gave me enough points on Disney Movie Rewards that allowed me, through this entire order, of which this was a part, to get a free movie from Disney Movie Rewards. So, I'm going to show you the movie that I got from Disney Movie Rewards as well. This was entirely free. It's one I've been keeping an eye on, considering getting, but, you know, I remember not really thinking it was the best movie out there. But I still wanted to have it because it's part of the Pixar line, one of the earlier Pixar movies, A Bug's Life. I haven't seen this in years, and the first time I did see it, I felt like, well, it's good, but it's not fantastic, you know. Well, now I can go back and see for myself if maybe I was just being a negative Nancy or something. Either way, I knew at least this movie would be something that my family would probably like. So even if I got it and decided meh, they would probably appreciate it. And yeah, I am very happy to have this for free. I have been keeping an eye on it on Amazon and other services, just trying to see if I can get it for under $10, and just haven't been able to find it for that price point. So free, that's a much better price point. Can't argue with free. And you know, one thing I know I'm going to see in this movie that won't hold up is the CGI. And that's because it's one of the earlier Pixar CGI movies, right? And if you go back to watch Toy Story now, you'll see it yourself. Like, this was very early CGI animation. It wasn't as early as some of their other stuff. There are the entire Blu-ray sets out there of Pixar's earliest stuff. But it was still relatively early in the lifespan, I would say, of CGI animation. So there were elements of things that they hadn't quite perfected yet, little grains of dirt that aren't necessarily as believable now in this movie as they are now in films of this nature. You know, characters are way too shiny, whatever, way too polished, if you will. It just, they hadn't quite, I feel like they hadn't quite figured out how to do it great. And that, I feel like, is one of the reasons why I was kind of not going for this one immediately, because I remember that kind of sticking out to me even then, like, wow, there's something about this that just doesn't fit right with me or something. I don't know. But whatever the reason was that I was being a negative Nancy, or just not being accepting of A Bug's Life because I'm a stupid butthead, whatever the reason was, I am definitely glad to have this in my collection now, and I'm glad I didn't have to pay anything for it. Now I can go back and check it out and see if maybe it does hold up. Maybe I'm just assuming the worst when I should be assuming the best. Who knows? I'll watch it and maybe I'll get back to you on that. But for now, at least I believe this is actually the last Pixar movie that I need of the of the main Pixar movies. You know what I mean? Not the sequels, but the ones, all the ones that they did before they went into sequel-itis. You know, before they started doing Cars 2, Monsters University, Cars 3, and stuff like that. You know, glad to have this. Glad that I now, I believe, have all of my Pixar films, Pixar ducks in a row, I would say, or at least most of them. I do want to get Monsters University. I watched that, and I actually really liked it. I felt like they did a good job on that one. Haven't seen Cars 2, haven't seen Cars 3, not super interested in them, but I'm sure I'll check them out at some point. I don't know. I did like Inside Out, and I got that recently, so we'll see what I do with my Pixar collection, but hey, filling it out with A Bug's Life. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I guess total for these two, I could say I paid $30 and got both of these. That's not a bad deal. Think about it. And then you consider the deal that I got with Disney Movie Club. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And hey, if you want to join Disney Movie Club and get some good deals yourself, you can use my link in the doobly-doo below. I would really appreciate it. Plug here. Anyways, that'll do it for me. Thanks for watching, you guys. Catch you later. Peace.